Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today, and you guys send in some really cool articles,
Yeah,
especially this one from USA Fencing that announces something really, really cool. The first ever U.S. parafencing national team.
really exciting stuff.
Yeah, before these articles, I got to admit, I didn't know a ton about parafencing.
Hmm.
I knew it was fencing, obviously, but adapted for athletes with disabilities. But I wasn't really sure like what that looked like in practice.
Well, and pair fencing is so nuanced.
Right.
So for instance, wheelchair fencing is actually integrated into the sport,
Oh, wow.
and the wheelchairs are fixed to the floor, so it creates a level playing field.
Yeah.
And then they also have classifications based on the type and extent of the athlete's disability. So it ensures fair competition within those categories.
That's so interesting. So it's not just like everyone who uses a wheelchair is in the same category.
Right.
Like they actually
Yeah.
have different like levels even within that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And speaking of amazing, this article actually highlights the five members of this like inaugural team.
Yeah.
Um, so we've got Ellen Geddes, Victoria Isaacson, Scott Rogers, Garrett Schoonover, and Jatiah Taylor.
A great group of athletes.
Yeah, yeah. And the story of Ellen Geddes really stood out to me.
Mm.
She's a below-the-knee amputee.
Yeah, she's been fencing for over a decade.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Over a decade. And she's talked about like some of the challenges that she faced early on, not just physically, but like in terms of being accepted in the sport even.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this national team is a testament to her perseverance and really a signal to other athletes with disabilities that they have a place in
I
fencing.
think that's so important too, because if
Yeah.
you don't see yourself represented, how are you supposed to know that you can even do something, right?
Exactly.
And this whole team, it just represents this broader shift, I think, in athletics in general.
Hmm.
Like it's not just about competing, it's about breaking down those barriers and challenging like what we even think athletes can achieve.
Absolutely. It's really the idea that sport can be for everyone.
Yeah.
And having a national team, this provides resources, coaching, and international exposure that these athletes might not have had otherwise. So it elevates the sport, but more importantly, it elevates these athletes.
Yeah, because imagine like getting to represent your country.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's a dream for so many athletes.
Exactly. And that's now a possibility.
Right.
Like that's so cool. Like this really makes you think about the power of sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can literally change lives.
Yeah.
So this is such a monumental moment for parafencing in the US, but where does it go from here?
Well, that's the good question,
Yeah.
right? This is just the beginning. Now the focus shifts to training, preparation for these international competitions,
Mhm.
and perhaps even inspiring like a whole new generation of parafencers.
Yeah, like little kids seeing these athletes on
Yeah.
TV and being like, I want to be like them.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's truly remarkable to witness this evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Like just to think about the dedication and the talent of these athletes.
It's really inspiring.
So inspiring. Like, wow.
Yeah, it really is. And it makes you wonder,
Mm.
right? Like what other adaptive sports are gaining momentum, and
Yeah,
what does the rise of parafencing tell us about how like the landscape of athleticism and inclusivity is evolving?
that's such a good question. Like it's something to really think about.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. This has been fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll see you next time.
See you then.